guys, how's it going? Today I want to give you a couple of exciting bulb updates, starting with some of those that are coming up around the Hartley. Now I'm inside because it's blustery and it's starting to rain a little bit, and tonight it's supposed to be 35. So while I'm really wanting to go plant some things, and I do have some stuff that's been staying outside and it's fine to plant, I don't really want to take it out when I know the wind is supposed to get worse today and it's pretty chilly. So we are going to go do some weeding. Super exciting stuff. But it needs to be done out in the south garden. So we did a full garden tour. It's been just under a week ago. I didn't feel like there was enough changes to do another full tour, but I wanted to take you around and show you some pretty things that are starting to show some color, starting with the tulips on either end of the Hartley. Look at these clear water tulips. I've planted this variety before and I loved it so much. I knew I wanted to repeat it. Now, the thing I love, not only the color, I mean, look at that color. I love that kind of greenish yellow soft stripe up the outer part of the petal. I think it makes it look really interesting. But this one bulb right here, 4 tulips. Super long stems, each one of them. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I see one over there with 3 tulips. There's one with 2 tulips. 2 right here. There, oh, 2, 2, 2. Crazy. Let's look at them on the other side. Violas are looking sweet. Get those. Might need some water. Oh yeah, look at those. So, you know, getting more heat up toward the building, so those are blooming first, and then these will bloom here probably this week. It's supposed to get into the 80s, so things will wake up big time if that actually happens. And when we have more of our tulips in more full color, we'll probably do another tour where we walk through, but this is just making me so excited. There's also 25 Globemaster alliums. That's these bigger ones in here, like lighter green, kind of strappier leaves. You can see the bud right there. So those will pick up the color show after the Clearwater tulips are done. Or who knows, they might be blooming still at the same time with how weird our spring has been. Okay, now the 4 quadrants back here. You might remember these 2 took forever to come up, and I thought for sure we were gonna have all blooms back here and not much going on here, but they caught up. But this corner, look at these, oh my gosh. I'm gonna spell this variety, it's S-A-N-N-E. They say it's pronounced kind of like sauna, but they are so gorgeous. Oh, I saw different pictures of them and I saw, you know, that they looked a little bit different in each one of the pictures. And this is exactly how I was hoping they would look. Kind of that smoky apricot pink with the deeper pink on the outside. I love the type of tulips that have kind of the pointy petal. They just are gorgeous. So each one of these squares here is filled with the same exact tulip. So I'm hoping again, by the end of this week that these are just loaded with color. It's gonna be good. It'll be gorgeous. And then we have a blend called White Cubed. Now all of these are from Color Blends. We planted, of course, the ones around the Hartley this last fall, but this one was planted, oh my, 4 years ago maybe, 3-4 years ago. And it still comes up pretty thick, and for tulips, that's great. See right in here, I think we planted like 300 or maybe 400, I can't remember. And they start all the way over by our new blue spruce that we put in and come around, and they've just started to open up. It's a blend of different white tulips. These look an awful lot like the Clearwaters, except for just shorter, smaller blooms, kind of an ivory. So gorgeous, really happy with that. I think I see 1 tulip in bloom over here. At this point, I'll take it. Any color. Our daffodils are still budded up. Like some of them aren't even in bloom yet. Oh, there's a couple in bloom. Oh my. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna have to remember what I planted in here. What varieties. Oh. Now, see, these look a lot like the sauna, except for lighter. You've got a lot more apricot in these, and that is just so pretty. Wow, I love it. Heading up to the back shade porch now. I do apologize, you guys, again, if my audio stinks in this video. When it's windy, it's really hard. Well, we could stop here and admire the hellebores. Absolute perfection. So, so pretty. I did plant a bunch of crocus in here, so I'm really happy to see that those are up. So I planted these really late. The ground was already fairly frozen and I was having to kind of chip up chunks of ice and toss the bulbs underneath and just put the ice back on top of them. So that's very nice to see that they're in here. I just forgot I had these bulbs. You know, we have a lot of bulb planting projects in the fall, and especially the small ones, they can get kind of tucked in between things in the barn. And so I was very thankful to be able to get them in the ground. Now we're redoing the drip system in this area, so we have not yet pulled up the drip or mulched in this space, which, you know, that would make the bulbs look a heck of a lot better. But the color is so pretty. We have the Vidal tulip mix right here, which comes up, you know, I've had it here maybe 3 seasons and still comes up fairly thick, but it's usually just a couple varieties now, like this one, just so pretty. And then another one again that looks like the Clearwater, just a little bit more lemony. And they've thinned out in a couple spots. And then on this side, you know, we've got, I don't know, 1,000 daffodils in this space. This spot right here that gets a little bit of afternoon sun is blooming, just started to bloom. Oh, I think these are the peach cobbler, and then I've got like white lions in here. Those are still budded back there. Oh, look at the little plug. This was a little hellebore plug last year. Some of them are blooming. We still have quite the show to look forward to here. We're gonna have daffs in May. I can't even believe it. Right here we have a ton of Delnasaw, which you can see all the buds right here. It's just still waiting for their turn. We have a whole bunch right here. Boy, those came up and just did their thing. They look gorgeous. Okay, couple more. Maybe we could have done a full tour. I just showed these tulips in Muscari recently, but they've been blooming for a few weeks now and look really pretty. This side of the house, southern exposure, really warm spot. So yeah, those always come up pretty quick. We're at the end of the west side garden right now. We've got a black cat pussywillow, instant karma elderberry, spring snow crabapple, weeping Alaskan cedar. Underneath, there are a bunch of perennials, but also a ton of daffodils. So you can see though that color just shining from in here. I can't remember the variety name, but super bright yellow cups with the creamy outer petals. Oh, the sun's coming back out. And then around the corner, look at all of these. They're so happy. Oh, I just love them. Now I did come in and plant some tulips in this west side garden, which I'm kind of seeing a little bit of color. These are the best purple is what they're called. Pretty. Windflowers right here. These are a type of anemone blanda, but I see a bunch of tulips in here getting ready. The daffs stop here. And then this is where, yeah, I just kind of loaded this area up. I think we put several hundred tulips in this space. They're all over. Cannot wait to mulch this space too. I still need to cut back some Caryopteris as well. Yeah. All the green, most of the green you're seeing is tulip foliage, irises, and some delphiniums. Delphiniums are going for it. 2 more things, I think. We have a bunch of daffodils out here. They've been in bloom for a little while. I've got a topsy-turvy blend and then one other one, Marie something. I think those are really pretty. Some of them definitely look more yellow. So this might be the topsy-turvy blend. It's like got the peachy orange and the yellow. Okay, so this is one of the spots. The little itty bitty daffodils. Look at these. Planted a whole bunch of them just right along this pathway. And of course I've got daisies in here and a bunch of empty space that I still need to fill. But it's fun to see a bit of color. Last up, over here. All right, guys, so this is a tulip called Tulip Preston's Shogun. And I tucked him over here because, one, I don't want this space to become the forgotten space on this side, you know, which could be easy to do because this is just kind of like our service road. We use it a lot, so that's why I kind of want it to be pretty, but I want to still have pretty things, you know, colorful things back here. And also I wasn't sure how bright this color was going to be and if it would fit in with all the other pink stuff I've got. But I love it. They kind of described it, I believe, as being kind of a pumpkin color. And it absolutely is. They're so unique and so gorgeous. I'm really happy with them. You can see that they get multiple blooms per stem as well. So we'll have kind of a second shift of color, which elongates our bloom season out here. A couple of honeyberries that look like death when I planted them out here. They're fine, putting on growth already. But yeah, I think this one is definitely one to add to the fall planting list. Okay, so those are the bulbs I really wanted to show you guys, just in case we didn't hit our next tour right on time. I'm gonna try to be super good about giving you timely updates when things are looking nice. I mean, when you're planting bulbs, they kind of fall all over the place in terms of bloom season. So it's really hard. There's never one time when everything is in bloom. They just kind of stagger. That's what you want. You want staggered bloom, staggered color in your garden. Put this away-ish. Now I'm gonna grab a gator, some gloves, some hand tools, and I will show you what we're gonna be weeding. I think it's gonna be fairly satisfying because the weeds are huge. Oh, just kidding, one more little update. Look at these anemones. Same as the whites, the anemone blanda, just a different color. Aren't those gorgeous? And these completely shrivel up and disappear, and you would never know that they were here right after they're done blooming, and then they just appear the next spring. And they kind of spread themselves around, and I'm really hoping they just take off and keep going. Like, I think I planted one here, and maybe I planted those two. So that one is up on its own. And then I planted two back here, and there's two up on their own right here by the pot. Okay, so here are my supplies basically. You can see I already took after one little section of grass. It was this weekend. I had like an hour or so of time. Decided just to go out there and tackle some of it. So I'm going to be using this for part of it. It's got like a little serrated edge, but I'm going to grab a couple other tools as well. Also got my kneeling pad. What is this called? A hand weed popper. Yes. Need this. This one, we'll try out this weed popper, and then a stand-up tool, just in case I'm tired to get on my knees. All right, guys, here we are. See all these weeds? Oh my goodness. They're thicker and bigger in some spots, like right over here. There's a lot of purple mustard that we want to eradicate. It's a noxious weed, no good. And there's a whole bunch of other things in here as well. And we haven't run the sprinklers out here yet, but we do want to start that eventually and get this grass that we seeded really late in the season up and stronger. We'll probably be tossing a little bit of extra seed here. The sprinklers weren't quite right. They've just come and fixed them so that the coverage is right. And then we'll also be fixing this so that we can tidy up all of the lines in here. Look at that. Oh, this section's gonna be kind of satisfying. Look at all of those. My goodness. This is the section I did this weekend. So while it's still patchy and doesn't look awesome, it looks so much better than this. But I kind of went into this mulch area and did that, and had to go into the grass area a bit as well. So I kind of want to just pick up and take off in this section. Also, real quick side note, not a whole lot has changed in the orchard. You know, the grass is growing taller, which is so gorgeous and I love it. But we've been working on pulling out the purple mustard. You can still see a little bit in here, but it's a lot less thick. And the snake's head fritillaria have started to show and bloom. So that's kind of the next phase of blooms we get to see, which is so fun. Some of them bloom white like this, but most of them bloom like this checkerboard purple. And this is turning out just exactly how I wanted it to. I'm so happy with it. I wanted to talk real quick about a couple of sprays we've had really good luck using on weeds, and we do get that question quite often. We do hand weed most everything. Like Bethany, she's here today and she's going around flower beds and hand weeding things. I prefer to hand weed if I've got the time to do it. And I like right now I could go out with a spray. Well, it's pretty windy. On a nice still day, I could go out with a spray and spray these weeds, but they're so big. It's kind of satisfying to pop them out of the ground and see that, I don't know, it's a very tangible work and it's very mindless. And it's nice just to sit in the quiet and listen to the birds and do something like that every once in a while. I really enjoy it. But we have used and do use the lawn weed brew. It's from Bonide, and we use it at the highest mix concentrate, and it works really well on broadleaf weeds in your grass. I think the active is iron. Some type of iron. We did a video about it once. Maybe we can link that down below. And then the other one does both grasses and broadleaf, and it's called Dead Weed Brew. You don't want to get those two mixed up because you don't want to spray the improper one on your lawn. But we do use that in gravel areas, and I have showed you how we mix that up and all of that business as well. We get it in a backpack sprayer and we can walk around and take care of that. But we do, as a rule, try to do as much as we can by hand as time allows. So anyway, I kind of embrace these days where they're not great to be out doing much else, but maintenance like this. I think I'm gonna bring the gator closer. I don't know why I stopped it all the way over there. Looks like we might get blue sky for just like a couple minutes. and more clouds. That's the other thing. It's been so moist here that things pop out of the ground a lot easier when the ground isn't super dry. And you know, when we planted this huge big lawn right here, we hand weeded the whole dang thing. I did a video about it when I was weeding part of it. Was that 2 seasons ago? And while that didn't take care of 100% of the weeds, it took care of a lot of them, like the puncture vine and stuff that we had in there. And now it's looking pretty darn clean. Really loving it. Let's try this weeder out together. So what, we just do this? Oh, nope. Am I using it wrong? Yeah, kind of. I wonder if this is best on like dandelions. Oh, it popped that one up pretty good. Let's try it one more time. There. I think you just have to get around the base of the weed with this. If you miss it, it doesn't do the job quite as nicely. Let's try one more time. Ah, yes. A little practice always helps too. Nice. Cutting weeds off at the surface doesn't 100% take care of them, which is what I'll probably be doing with most of these. I'll probably go between all these different tools that I brought out here. Sometimes they'll spring forth right again from their roots that are left over underneath the soil, and sometimes it will kill them. It just kind of depends on how robust the root system is, but the goal is to thin them out gradually, and then eventually we won't have quite the problem. Okay, I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I've got a couple hours, so let's just get after it and see how far we can get. Guys, so I didn't get a tremendous amount done, but a pretty good section. I'm really happy with it. So this is the little section I got done the other day, and then I worked from the T-post to the end of this section, to the other T-post, which is about 60 feet by 15 feet. It's just nice to see soil and grass and not a huge crop of weeds. Let's go look at where the weeds start back in. Stopped right about there so you can see all of these weeds. Still have quite a lot to do, but we're gonna chip away at it. And this grass right here looked just like that at the beginning of last year, or summertime of last year, I can't remember. But yeah, it's looking so good, so we have every reason to hope. This wind though, let me tell you what, it makes you feel like you're just completely beat up by the end of the day. I was a little bit interrupted a couple of times because Benny's crew showed up to start working on the brick patio, so I thought we would run over there just to kind of wrap up today and see what they got done. I had to walk back over here though because I don't know how I missed it, but along with the Snake's Head Fritillaria, we've got a whole bunch of the Muscari blooming. Like, I don't even know how I didn't see that. They're so deep purple and so gorgeous. And they're all over in here. That's so exciting. So now we're just waiting on daffodils and leucogems, I think, are maybe the last couple of things we'll see come up. Oh gosh, that looks better. Not great, but better. Here's the back of the gator. You can see all the weeds. And this is the tool that I landed on, that I ended up using the whole time. It's just really nice that there's that serrated edge. I was actually able to kind of put the blade into the soil and pop most of the weeds up. So I got a lot of the root systems of a lot of these. But wherever the soil was a little bit more compacted, it was harder, so I could use that serrated side to kind of cut the root down below the soil surface. Oh, the wind. Okay, let's head to the brick patio area. I can take most kinds of weather and even wind in small doses, but the wind is kind of the worst. It dries everything out. That's why I have to stop, because I got to go water everything now. And hey, look, when we're done with that other side, we can do this side. Fun. Cutest tulips ever. All right, it looks like they got the trench done and they got water and electrical stubbed up in the middle of our circle. Because we're going to probably have either drip system to water whatever we plant here, or we'll want water here to put a drip in a fountain, and then we'll need electrical for possible fountain and or Christmas lights. So nice to get that done before bricks go in. Now that they have that done, that's step number one, they need to excavate this area. That's the next piece. They need to dig it down just a little bit so that it matches our brick sidewalk. Because I know it doesn't look it in our garden, everything looks pretty flat, but there is a little contour here. And those bricks are quite a bit lower than where I'm standing right over here. So they're gonna dig this down so that this whole area will match, which means we're going to come in with rock wall, and we'll be putting a rock wall by the side of this walkway. The bricks will keep going. They follow this paint line into the patio area. So I'm not sure how far that will actually have to go. We'll probably start tapering the rock wall down, and then we'll have flagstones coming from the fireplace over to meet this area. I don't know. Lots to do still. But this is the beginning. We've been waiting since last fall for this project. It just got a little bit too late, and then the spring has been so weird and wet and freezing cold that they've been behind with their stuff that they needed to do. And yeah, it's just kind of a trickle effect, all pretty much based on the weather. But now we get to start seeing some progress in this space and see some dirt be covered over with bricks, so that it doesn't turn into a big mud patch whenever it rains, and so that we have, we can put our seating area back over here and kind of just button this area up. I'm so excited about it. And I'm really happy about the weeding today. I know that's not a super glamorous project or a super exciting one, but it's part of what we all have to do to keep our gardens maintained and keep them nice. And so I just kind of wanted to walk through every once in a while what we use to spray with, and then my preferred method is to hand pull. And I know there's all kinds of tools you can stand up with. We have that weed grabber thing, but my preferred method is just to get on my knees and go for it. It's just a really pleasant thing. I enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.